Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we are going to be talking about the pattern of pursuit and figure out, are we doing the same things, expecting a different result? Are we not tweaking how we're going about our dating process? You know, we're still on the singles series, okay, y'all? So with it being the single series, we want to know what we're doing in our dating process. That's why we did the core values. That's why we did the dating application, because we need to know these things. We need to really hone in on what is going on with us and why we do the things that we do. All right. So we're still going to get to the root of us, right? But before we continue, I just want to start sharing, share the broadcast. But before I go into that, I just want to let you guys know the mission statement. The mission statement is that we are building a community of both men and women who are on the journey of self-love and self-healing, right? We always recommend that if this information doesn't help you and you need to talk to somebody, please go and talk to somebody. It's good to go to therapy. It's good to get to the root of your issues, okay? We have biblical principles that we apply and that we it coincides with what we're talking about on every Sunday basis, and it's just something that we really are striving to do. And we need to understand that in order for us to be healthy and whole, we have to acknowledge some things in our lives that we may not want to acknowledge. So that is what our mission statement is. So as I go on, I'm going to start sharing. I'm sharing, guys. All right. We're sharing, guys. Sharing. Hello. All right. I'm sharing. I'm sharing to groups. Let's get to it. The pattern of pursuit. They changed up Facebook and how I'm sharing. It's a whole bunch of different shares. Come through, everybody. Come through. Let me know who is on. Right now, we take the first couple of minutes to share. Good evening, Tiff. Good evening. We're sharing right now. Good evening, Mama. All right. So now that is done and over with, listen, let me tell you something. It is really a blessing that we are continuing on our series, on our single series, because I know there's a lot of people who would like single advice. There's so many married people, and it's a lot of people who cater to married couples, but don't really pay attention to the singles. And the singles need help too. They need advice. They need spiritual guidance. Just different things. And we don't. I know I don't see it a lot, but I'm not everywhere. So I really believe that when we talk about these things that we're going through in the dating arena, that it's just like, oh my goodness, what in the world? What is out here? Now, I know that being a 70s baby, right? And at my prime in my 20s, hey, Janae, in my 20s, it was easier to find someone that was on the same path, that wanted the same things that you want. But as you grow older and people experience different things, believe me, there's so many people who are so hurt now that at my age, 45, right, they're not even really ready to get into no commitment, or they've been in the commitment and they are gun shy. They don't want to do this no more. So the dating arena is really, really tough right now. And so if you don't know what you desire in a relationship, right, you're liable to accept anything. And that's not the time or the season to be just accepting anything, because at the end of the day, you want to be happy. You want to grow old with somebody. You want to experience different life experiences with somebody. And you want that person to be on the same mindset or the same journey as you, that want the same thing. The Bible says, how can two walk together lest they agree, right? So we have to figure out what we want so that we can line up with somebody who knows what they want, and then we bring it together and then be something that's good. It doesn't have to, the dating arena does not have to be so bad. It doesn't. We make it bad because we bring our wounds to the table. We bring all of the things that hurt us to the table. And those things put up a stumbling block so big and so wide that people give up trying to get over the stumbling block just to get to your heart. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Because I've been hurt before, because I've seen this before, because and sometimes we get hurt by the same type of people that we keep choosing. My friend Jen tells me that I have a particular type. And I do. I'm like a bald-headed, clean-cut man. Like, that's just what it is. That's what I like, And should I go for something else? Should I look for something different? Is that what is my stumbling block? The fact that I have a particular type, just like men have particular type. They like them slim, thick. They like them thick. They like them, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? And sometimes we'll pass up the person that is good for us. That's why we talked about chemistry and compatibility, right? Because we'll pass up somebody that's so good for us because we have a particular type, or we pick the same type of women or same type of men. And then we wonder why we continue to go through the same things in the relationships. Well, because like I said before, most men, for us women out there, most men don't want to climb that stumbling block to get to your heart. We make it too hard for them sometimes, to even, because we bring our wounds to the table. And that's why it's so important for us to really take the time out to heal and take that time by ourselves to know who we are. So the next time we step out there, we know what we're getting involved in and getting with, you know what I mean? And what we expect, because expectation is that big, strong word that nobody really likes. When people would rather be in situationships and things of that nature, because there's no expectation on those relationships, which means there's no responsibility on those relationships. But you want treatment like they're your girl, like they're your wife, and all of this stuff, because as Tifa says, There has to be a line. You can't be a wife and you a girlfriend, and you definitely can't be a wife and you not even a girlfriend. They're not even claiming you. You understand what I mean? So we have to really understand that this far no further. Like, we can't not sit here and think that we can do the same thing expecting a different result. We can't. It has to change, right? So let's look at the different patterns of pursuit that we may endure, right? So I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis of this article, right? And it was a young lady that was talking about how her grandmother was a 16-year-old Irish girl who arrived at Ellis Island betrothed to an older pub owner. Okay, so she was made to marry somebody, right? And she was devastated to come over there to be a bride, right? And it says, although her husband was a kind man who stayed with her until his death, they never became close because she slipped into bitterness because she was made to marry him, right? So then on the other end, she said 100 years later, her own experience of single life in New York City could not have been more different than her great grandmother Bridget, right? She had the freedom to be able to choose. Hey Tinge. She had the freedom to choose who she loved and who she wanted to be with. And she didn't have to be anxious about meeting someone that she's never met before, right? Or actually being in a marriage where she's never met that person before, like her grandmother. So it says somewhere between Bridget's arranged marriage and my protracted floundering lies a vast middle ground of single life that can be navigated happily with an eye toward ultimate goal, often but not always a committed partnership. Yes, we need to date with a purpose, Janae, but a lot of times we sometimes forego our purpose because people ain't lining up with our purpose. But we have to really understand, and I'm in a dating pool too. So like, I had this great conversation with this guy. I mean, he knew all the right. He said trajectory, like, y'all know that me with that word. But anyway, but he was just talking certain things and he was speaking, and I liked his conversation. And when I kept mentioning God, and it got quiet on the phone, and it was like, And then he finally said, well, I know you probably saw that I got kind of quiet when you said God. And I was like, yeah, I kind of peeped that. And he was like, yeah, not too much. And I was like, oh, yeah, not too much. And it really bothered me that I had, I clicked, communication wise with somebody, but because there's something that I won't give up. I need a man that knows the Lord. That's me. I need someone that I know can follow so that I can follow him. If you can't follow God, right? Who are you following? You're following yourself. But what if you don't have no vision? Or what if your vision is skewed? So I'm supposed to follow you to where? Especially if you don't have no vision or ambition, right? Not saying that old dude didn't have ambition or vision or anything like that, but he didn't have a specific that I desire and require as a part of my dating process, right? So chuck the deuce, gotta go. You understand what I mean? So, right, and don't say you don't have sex before marriage. Right. You know what I mean? People don't. You have to set those boundaries. You have to. And is it easy, especially if you've experienced that? No, it's not easy. And sometimes your flesh rises up. However, if you decide that this is what you are wanting to accomplish in your life, those are the things that you'll set your boundaries for. And I know that I have a sister friend, her name is Cynthia, right? And 13 years ago, because her husband is married 13 years now. Um, so 14 years ago, right? I had a conversation. She wasn't dating or anything, but she put herself out there. But I said, okay, sis, so what you do? Because within that year, she found her husband or he found her, right? I said, sis, what you do? She said, I put a pebble in it. I said, a pebble? She said, I put a pebble in between my knees. And if that pebble dropped, that means I opened them. And that's not, I don't know if she's the one who said the pebble, but I know I use the pebble analogy all the time. Right? So it's easier said than done. And 13 years ago, I was struggling with that thing. You know what I mean? Today, I feel a little bit better, and I'm not going to sit here and play holier than thou. Sometimes I got to ask for forgiveness. You understand what I mean? But I'm actively striving, and the flesh rises up, but I'm actively striving to maintain myself because I do know what I want. And she was here last week, and I said, you told me about 13 years ago what to do, right? And she was like, yes, sis, I did. So these are the things that we have to struggle with. But these are also the things that people, and I'm sorry, but people in the church don't want to talk about because it's a really touchy issue. But it's still an issue. We have to talk about these things. We have to understand that here Janae says, same, it's hard. No, it's hard. It's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy. And for you to occupy your time, occupy your mind, you know, you have to do those things. And by you doing those things and learning how to love yourself and love your alone time, you save yourself a whole lot of heartache and pain. Believe me, because you'll wind up, and I'm talking about me. I don't know about y'all, but you'll wind up in something that you think is going to work out or expand into something bigger or better, and it doesn't. And then you sacrifice your time, your energy, your body, your effort, all of those things. And if that has been your recipe for the last couple of years and it hasn't brought your husband, then evidently we need to tweak the recipe, right? Because evidently that's not working, right? So one of the things that I do know is that when you're trying to break the pattern of your pursuit, right, you have to do something different. It's like insanity it's like that. Remember, I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm showing my age, but it's I'm gonna get you, sucker, right? Remember when old dude came out of jail and he had the platform shoes with the fish in it? Please let me know if y'all understand or remember what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's I'm gonna get you, sucker, or not. But he came out and he wasn't the Mac, he wasn't the G no more. The times has changed, right? So we have to switch up the tempo. Chris Brown, switch up the tempo. You know what I mean? We do. We got to switch up the tempo. We got to adjust some things. You know what I mean? So we can't be walking around with these platform shoes with fish in it thinking that we're going to pull them. You know what I mean? We got to change. We got to change it up, right? So dating shake up number 1. It said, get out and it has all these asterisks. You said, look at the hot. Look at the what, teeth? But it says, get out the door. So it says, Lady Luck can seat you next to a gorgeous stranger at an open-air jazz concert. Watching TV in your living room, however, hardly facilitates serendipitous encounters. Putting yourself out there is a prerequisite to curing the loneliness that settles over you when you spend too many nights in. Maybe you dread getting overlooked by people you meet if you were socializing, or perhaps you're afraid that if you do get into a relationship, you'll be distracted from other important goals. Whatever the hesitation, Online dating, I don't see. Okay, now online dating. Let's talk about that. Oh yeah, look at the fish in the shoes. Yes, online dating. Online dating is kind of scary because you get a lot of people whose pictures are not them. Like they really be catfishing out here. Like they be putting up pictures when they was on their thin side when it was like 10 years ago. And then when you meet them, you're like, well, you are old middle-aged man. That wasn't the picture that you that's not the picture you had up, right? You know what I mean? So you cannot, like, come on. You cannot trust everything. And I'm not gonna say that I didn't meet good people online because I did. I met a couple of people that I'm still cool with, right? So, but what? That is not how you look. I didn't even see that other chick, like, or whatever, or, whatever. I don't know, because they'll be like in their 30s. The pictures be like from when they were in their 30s and they 54. And it's like, bruh. And I know men get the same thing. Chime in. Because, these chicks sometimes ain't even chicks. So y'all got a bigger fish to fry than we do. You feel me? Tan said, met your brother online 13 years ago as friends, though. Right. But see, you know how many people don't even want to do the friend thing? They don't want to do the friend thing. The first thing they want to talk about is sex. So that's why you got to switch up the tempo on these people, because half the time, that's all they want from you. And nah, bro, nah. I'm good at saying no. I'm good at dodging those bullets like, I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good at dodging it, because at the end of the day, it's like, what are you really here for? Who sent you? Janae, who sent you? I don't know who you from. You may not be. Who sent you? Nah, I'm good. So it's real hard out here, y'all. Like, it's hard out here. Okay, so dating shakeup number 2. Yeah, they want to sleep with you. They want to sleep. They want to sleep with you at hello. They want to sleep with you at hello. They want to hello. You want to come over? No, I don't even know you. Like, what do you mean? Do I want to come over? We ain't Faith. Look, Tinge. I was thinking about come over, so I'm like, won't you come over? No, I won't. You know what I mean? No. So the dating shakeup number 2 is cut out choosiness and stop choosing poorly. Okay, so how can you stop being choosy when you like what you like? Let me know in the comments. How can you stop being choosy when you like what you like? Men are attracted by what they see, right? Women are attracted by what they hear, right? But ultimately, we still like if I met somebody and it's like he talk a good game, but he don't look the part, right? Now I want to take his common sense and his brain and put it in the guy that looked the part, and then he's the whole package. Nah. What if the guy that don't really look the part is the one that will really satisfy you holistically in your life? You understand what I mean? So we got to stop choosing our own, not saying, because I don't want to be a hypocrite, y'all. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a hypocrite. But I know that if I think about outside of the box, then maybe, just maybe, something to be successful. You know what I mean? Because you can't pick from the same. If one apple spoils the whole bunch, right? I know, and you know what? I do too. But you know what I'm most attracted to, Janae? I'm most attracted to conversation. I'm a conversationalist. I'm a communicator. I love to talk as y'all can see. You understand what I mean? So it's like, are you serious? Like, if you can't even hold a conversation, it was this one guy that I met online, right? And he says, "Hey, this is Jay. Send me pictures." So I sent him a picture of my face. Cheese. He said, "Send me a body picture." I was like, no. Can I see a picture of you? He didn't send me a picture. He said, "You coming to chill tonight?" No. Can we have a phone call? Can I talk to you on the phone? Because I'm not a text person. I think that text messages can get misconstrued, and the communication, the lines of communication is very broken and stilted because you don't know in which manner people are speaking. Yes, girl. I'm like, what in the world? What is going on? And then it's, and then, you meet people on the street and they still like that. But what I'm realizing, ultimately, what I'm realizing is that people are hurt, right? And people don't want to put their guard down because of that one last relationship that did it. And it's so sad because what it all boils down to was that your picker was wrong. It wasn't that the whole female, specimens, female species did it to you, right? But now every female has to pay because of what one nasty female did, and versa. Now this man has to pay because of what one man did to you in your life. That is not fair. It's not fair. So what I want to push is that if we could just try to change our mindsets to understand that sometimes things end because the season ended. Sometimes people are just in our lives to teach us some things. So it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime, people, but it's not to hurt us if we figure out what the lesson was in it. What did I learn? What did I learn about me? What do I have to change about me? Were the things that he said about me true? Could I have done better? Should I have done better? Okay, so I'm going to make up in my mind that in my next, if I'm able to be in a solid relationship, that these are the things that I'm going to truly work on. Because if one person said it in another, it could be something that we have to work on internally. We cannot bring our wounds to the table, to the dating table. We can't take them to the restaurant and put them on the table and say, here, because people are not going to want to jump over your stumbling blocks. They want you to already be established, or mentally, physically, and emotionally. Some people will help you unpack, but that's far and in between because they need help unpacking their stuff too. But if you haven't come to a realization that there's some things that need to be changed about you, that everything ain't always right, and that I can tweak a little something so that my desired outcome could actually come, then it'll be okay because you're doing it for a bigger cause. And ultimately it's going to help you too. You know what I mean? Because it makes you become a better person, a more understanding person. We cannot allow the things that has happened in our past to dictate our future in such a way that that line between bitter and better, everybody is this. A lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody because I don't know everybody, but there's a lot of people that lean on that bitter side, and it's not worth it. So you're willing to give up all of your power to a person who has moved on with their lives while you have allowed an icebox to be where your heart used to be. And I'm not being a Mario, but you don't want an icebox there. But sometimes, just sometimes, our picker was wrong. Sometimes we ignored the signs and kept going full speed ahead, ignoring the sounds and the bells over there. You know, we have to really understand that it's what we allow in our lives in which things happen. We allow it. So if we don't make the conscientious decision to say, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. What have I been doing the same thing that's getting me the same results? So I'm going to change that. And maybe I'll go out more than be online. But see, going out more is still, I don't like crowds. So how is that? How is that? How are you going to go out? I don't want to go out there. I don't want to. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard dating, y'all. It's hard dating. Y'all let me know, because me and Janae is on it. Like, for real. Like, we have to, okay, so it says cut out choosiness and stop choosing poorly. So snapshot of the decision-making center of a 20-something's mind at a dinner party. The girl sitting next to Chris is friendly, and she's a politics geek, just like me. But there's that speed dating thing at the brewery next week. Plus, I haven't written back to that blonde I met online last Thursday. Barry Schwartz, a professor. I'm sorry. Yes, it is. You can't talk. You're in a relationship. Like, you can't. It is very hard out there. It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard. I'm sorry. I know that didn't even go, but it is hard dating. I'm just trusting God that if it's his will, he will allow the right man to cross my path. Whoop that trick, right? Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick, right? I mean, I'm just saying, I pray to God that happens as well, but I also know that everybody that says Lord, Lord ain't his neither. So it's so many red flags. It's so many flags on the play that we have to pay attention to time in and time again. Like, you have people who will manipulate you, who will play off of your weakness, off of your kindness, off of all of this stuff for them not to be able to do what they set out to do. And it's like, come on. Like, I don't want my heart to be played with, right? So we gotta tweak our pattern of pursuit. What are we gonna do? Now, I'm trusting God too, Janae. I'm trusting God too. But one thing that I see in a lot of churches is a lot of single women that's been trusting God. So what is the happy medium? What do we do? Because I see a lot of singles. I see a lot of married people too, but I see a lot of singles. What do the single people do? Some people are not in the church. That could possibly be your person. Not to say that you don't believe it. Like, it's hard. That's what I'm saying. What you mean, Snap? It's not hard. It is hard. It is hard. It may not be hard for you. You know what I mean? Because you're handsome, you're charming. You know what I mean? But there's it's hard. It's hard. It says, yes, it seems like men who are sold out for God are either married or far and few. Yes, they're either married or, and I'm sorry to say this, or they're gay. And I can't do nothing with that. You understand what I mean? So where's the happy medium? Where's the common ground where you say, well, you have the core value together, right? You have the core value together. Your integrity, your honesty, you're a team player, your inclusion, you include me. You know what I mean? Can't do a thing with that. What I'm doing with that? Nothing. I'll be your friend. I mean, You know, Tifa, you and Snap, Fooey, you've been out the game for 11 years. If you were in the game, it would be different. It's different because Janae was married, and you know, if you don't mind Janae, but you know, she was married. She's telling you it's hard to come from that and being in the single life again. It's hard. So what are we doing that's making it even harder? I understand that too, Teef. But I also know that there's a lot of women sitting in there single. And that's truth. That's truth. And I believe that, Snap, that the hard part is being able to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable with the wrong person, because then you be vulnerable with the wrong person, right? And then they use it against you. Or they you know, it's not the person that you should be vulnerable with. They don't take care of you. They don't take care of your vulnerability. You understand what I mean? If I expose myself to you, I expect you to protect that, because I'm exposed now. People don't have that type of loyalty to people anymore. It's all about a what about me? Where's the fight? You understand what I mean? Where's the fight? I'm all for vulnerability because I speak truth. I speak my truth. You know what I mean? I don't hold it back, because what's the sense? I don't want to remember no lie, to be quite honest. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you can be vulnerable, but to the wrong person, they still crush your heart. Then you have another strike on the bitter line, opposed to better. And maybe it's because we're not doing what we talked about 2 weeks ago, being friends before lovers. You know, we got to figure out what that is. The older people get, the more set in their ways they become, right? And that's hard, because people have been through some real live stuff that really hurt them, and they're not willing to take that step no more. Like, I talked to a friend of mine last night, right? And he said, why am I going to sign a piece of paper for me to lose? Don't you know that a marriage license is a license for me to lose? He said, because when that marriage is over, I lose. I don't gain. The only time you gain is when y'all are on equal playing fields financially. And I said, wow. I said, you're thinking about the ending before it even begins. And that could be the problem. But he's like, nah, it hurt him, right? So he put up a wall. That was it. He said, y'all don't lose nothing. We lose everything. That's why men are not in a hurry to marry. I said, well, maybe if you didn't marry the wrong person twice, maybe you wouldn't be so gun shy. Because let me ask you a question. Were there signs that she was no good? Were there signs showing you that there could possibly be some type of problem with her? He said, yeah. I said, then you ignored the signs and you kept full speed ahead. That's not her fault if she showed you who she really was. When people show you who they are, believe them. Stop trying to change the narrative in your head that there's something that they're not. They're going to show you time and time again who they are. And you got to believe it. Snap said, but that's when your self-worth and who you are comes into play. Yes, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, a lot of times people get that, they go to that bitter side because of the simple fact that it's not about self-worth for them. It's about what was taken from them. You know what I mean? What their life was made harder. This woman didn't do anything. And I get it, because I'll be able to see both sides of the coin, right? Where the man did all the work and did everything that they needed to do and provided for their wife and provided for their family and did all of this stuff for them to be taken to the cleaners, not being able to see their kids, and then giving up money every month for the rest. But I was doing what I was supposed to do. This is from a male's point of view. I was doing what I was supposed to do. And she didn't like it. Or I wasn't home enough because, and so she cheated or she did whatever it is, right? We just have to really understand that the same way, and this is for my women out there, the same way that we have wounds, men have them too. They just don't vocalize it like we do. And if they do, they on some Kevin Samuel stuff, right? Hey, Deirdre, hey. So Tifa says single women should not be looking for a husband. Single women should be focused on becoming the wife that a man would want. And I believe that. You're absolutely right about that, Tifa. You should, that's absolutely right. But what about all the women that's so established and getting themselves together that now they're in a higher tax bracket and still no husband? Then what? You understand what I mean? It still has to be a medium. And that sounds good, but the pickings is not that easy, baby. It is going to be a lot of women out here that is going to be single. You understand what I mean? Because unless and I don't have any problems with going to different races and things. I'm lying. I think I do because I've never dated out my race before. But maybe that's an option. You understand what I mean? Because I have a specific. What you say facts to, Snap? I'm sorry. You will find people who will give up on marriage, give up on a lot of things in their life. Yes, and that's what I saw. I saw that he gave up the ghost on the female species, to be quite honest. Like he's not happy with us, yo. And we're good enough friends for him to be able to vocalize and express that to me. But it's sad when you think about it because that's a lonely way to live, especially when you're getting older. You need that companion. I feel that you need a companion, and I'm not law, but I'm just saying, and I get that totally. Marriage is work and a lot of work. It takes two people who are willing to work through everything life throws at them. And I think that's what the whole issue is. And that's what I'm talking about when I said there's this big stumbling block that's there. And they get tired halfway over that wall to get to your heart. They get tired. And then they don't fight no more. That song, my daughter said that it was me, but it's this song, and I use it a lot sometimes on my TikTok. When you're a runner, she's a runner, she's a track star. Something, I don't know the words, but I think we all run from the expectation of relationship because then we have to be vulnerable. We have to give our all. We have to be there. We have to be present in the moment. You know what I mean? And we cannot we can't shortchange ourselves because they give us that attention for that moment. You understand what I mean? But then once that moment is gone, then everything else is gone too. And when does it stop? You know what I mean? So I get it. I get the single woman should not be looking for a husband. You're absolutely right. That's per the Bible, but and I get it, and I'm not disputing the Bible. I'm just saying that being a single woman, it's hard because there's not a lot of good. I'm not even gonna say that. I don't know everybody. I'm just saying in my area. How about that? Especially in my church. That's a married church. My church is for married couples. You understand what I mean? So there's not a lot of single men that go to my church. You know what I mean? So where do you start? You go on these websites. No, now I do have a sister in my church who did go on a website, but she went on christianmingle.com and she did find herself a husband. So maybe we're on the wrong sites. Maybe. Broken people search for perfect people. And that's when they get let down because ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect, you know? And we need to learn how to love each other for who we are. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in la la land because I really feel like I can find that type of love that I found back when in my 20s, when my 18, 19, when we was able to run together, and no matter what happened, we stuck together, you know what I mean? And there's no loyalty. I mean, we really have to understand that there's really not a lot of loyalty out there. A lot of people don't even know what they're loyal to. That sometimes people are loyal. Yes, my church is growing with more married couples. That's the funny thing. Our church grows is but it's more married couples. You know what I mean? And I get it, but I love my church so much. So, it is what it is. I mean, maybe we need to have a fellowship. Maybe we need to have a singles mingle type things with surrounding churches in the area to see what it is, because I mean, I know my gripe is not the only gripe, right, Janae? I mean, I know it's not the only gripe, but maybe, Jacksonville is spread out, and I don't know what cities y'all are in or whatever, but Jacksonville is really big, so really big, but so small because so many people know each other, but it's such land-wise so big, right? But there's so many churches out here. Like, I mean, what if we did have a singles mingle? And maybe, but you know what it is too, Deirdre? It's because we don't put enough emphasis on single. Like, I get what Paul said. I truly get what Paul said. Paul said it would be better for you to be single, right? But he would rather us marry than to burn with desire, right? So it's better for us to be single because God can use us wholeheartedly. There's nothing that can separate or distract us from what God is calling us to do if we're single, right? But two is better than one. It says it in Proverbs. You know what I mean? Two is better than one. And in the Gospels, Jesus sent his disciples out 2 by 2. It's 2 is better than 1. She said, if your church is growing, I guarantee you that God will send someone that will submit to your pastor and the vision. Well, I add my faith to your faith, darling, because guess what? I'm a faith walker, but I'm losing it in this area because it's just like, I want somebody that's gonna be true blue. Like, enough of the games, enough of all of that, enough of the games. Grow up. Let's do life. It's inflation out there. Gas is $5 a gallon. The food prices is going up. You know what I mean? Like, 2 is better than 1. But at any rate, we need to not be so choosy and stop choosing poorly. We got to get our pickers right, okay? So the third dating shakeup says, don't fall in love with love. And I think that, and I wish I forgot to put my bell right here because I would be ringing it right now because I swear that line is for me. I love love. I'm a lover of love. That is easy for me to love somebody. You know what I mean? Because it's easy for me to look at their good aspects of them and love. Why are you laughing at me? I'm serious. I know this is for me. This is a segment for me. Don't fall in love with love, because I'll be thinking that I'm in love, we in love, and it's not, and I don't want to get caught up in that anymore. You know what I mean? And it's just real honesty. You want to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. That's the only way change is going to come about. So that's something that, and I mean, I'm not going to be cold-hearted, right? I'm not going to put the ice box where my heart used to be, but I'm going to be more selective. I'm going to be more purposeful. in it, because I can really start digging somebody off of a couple of conversations. And like, I really like you, because it's hard to have conversations with people nowadays too. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying. I'm not lying. Y'all don't got to tell me I'm lying. But don't fall in love with love. Okay? And dating shake up number 4. Heed early clues to character. You understand what I mean? They're going to show you who they are. We talked about the representative. The representative lasts about 3 months, tops, 90 days. And then after that, the true blue come out. Then you turn around like, oh, what? Who are you? Who is this masked man? And it's not a mask. The mask was the original person you met. Take the masks off. Learn how to be yourself. Allow people to love you for where you're at. Be honest. A lot of people, they'll tell you what you want to hear just so they can get what they want, and then ghost you and manipulate you. And what's the other one? Ghost you and manipulate and gaslight you and love bomb you. These are all new words. I like listen to all of these new words that I didn't even know was a word 20 years ago. Love bomb. They give you all the love and attention until they got you right where they want you, and then they ghost you. It's a cat and mouse thing, but it's very narcissistic. So, heed early clues to character, because their character won't lie. My first attempt, it all boils down to character when it's all said and done, right? Dating shake up number 5. Push yourself out of your patterns. If all you do is sit in the house and watch TV, you're never going to find anyone. If you don't get out, go and have fun. Go to the arcade. My mother used to tell me, go to the frozen food aisle, Shannon. Whoever's in there who's buying TV dinners, you can offer to cook them dinner. I'm telling you. They have all these new words to replace God's word. Well, I think these are characteristics. I don't think it's replacing God's word, like gaslighting and love bombing. Those are the things that people actually do. Yeah, we do. We do attract who we are, but we also attract them scutterbugs too. That ain't nothing like what we are. You understand what I mean? So it's just, and those we probably see a mile away. Like, no, don't even look my direction. You know what I mean? What's the truth? The truth is out. What's the truth? The truth is out. What do you mean? But the gaslighting and the what did I say? Gaslighting, love bombing, what was I saying? Gaslighting, love bombing, narcissistic, the cat and mouse, the attachment styles. Oh, the truth is out. The frozen food section. Yes, that's what my mother said. My mother said, go to the frozen food aisle. And any man that you see standing over there by the Stofers, holler at him. I don't think that is a distraction, Teep. I think that that's actually what's going on. And when you've been in the dating pool, as long as I've been in the dating pool, you see a lot of stuff. And it's like, no. But they do that love bombing stuff. They be like, oh, they come through. I was thinking about you. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. And if you're in a vulnerable state and you're lonely or alone and you just want some attention, all of those things can come into play. Ain't nobody standing up here like they perfect. And if they are, I call lie. It's a game. It's a card game that's called bull crap. I call bull crap. You know, and this is just for the more so because Tifa, you out the loop, mama. Like, it's different from 15 years ago. Like, it's different. You begin to label people and talk yourself right out of what could possibly be for you. We are all flawed. Oh, I mean, but you can't ignore the signs. If they're already showing you that they gaslighting you, that they really just they out for one thing, believe them. You know, people show you who they are. You know, sometimes you can prematurely label somebody as something that you thought they were, and come to find out they weren't that. That can happen. But for the most part, the people they got a rhythm going. They know what to say it, how to sweep you up your feet. They'll come and pick you up, take you out, open the door, take you to dinner, and that will be the first and the last of that. And you have to set your boundary. You have to set your standards to say, nah, this is what I want. This is how I want to be treated. This is how I want to be loved, but not so in a pushy way, you know, but allow them to also reiterate. What about the food, the frozen food section? Shoot. Everybody's in the frozen food section because the food's so expensive. So everybody is in the frozen food section looking at the stove. Anyway, but just know that we have to make sure. I'm going to wrap up the show. We got 4 minutes left. So I'm just telling you that in this process, I want you to really take in account how you are pursued and how you pursue. Okay? If it is something that you have done over and over and over and over again, and it has not produced what you were looking for, then I think that we need to shift our perspective on it. We have to change our pattern of pursuit. I had a guy that I did it, and every time I left him, I said, I'm leaving, I'm going to find a husband. And then I'll come back to him and he says, how's that working out for you? And I used to hate that so much. He used to be like, how's that working out? Your mom should just stay with me, but he didn't want to get married. And it was because he was married. All of these people who have been married before, they don't want to be married no more. They don't want to do it no more. So it's like, it's some people that is willing, but it's some people that's like, nah, been there, done that, don't want to do that. And it's hard because it's like, you see what I bring, you see who I am to you, right? But you don't care because I'm not signing on that dotted line, because the last person I signed on that dotted line with kind of did me dirty. And men carry their stuff a lot longer. Like they carry their stuff. You may think they're not holding grudges, but their strong nose is because of what happened in the past. You understand what I mean? It's because of what happened in the past. It's because of what their ex did, how their ex treated them, how their ex handled them. You understand what I mean? Listen, the frozen food section may be where it's at. Party on aisle 6. Woo, woo, get it, woo, woo. Party on aisle 12 by the Stofers. But anyway, guys, I love y'all so much. The pattern of pursuit. We must understand that in order to get something different, we have to do something different. So maybe we do have to go to the frozen food aisle. Maybe we do need to go someplace else other than our bedroom, or watching TV, or staying in the house, or even, just picking the wrong people that we've always picked because we have a particular type. How's that working out for you? If that particular type ain't still coming towards you, how's that working out for you? All right? So I love y'all. I see y'all next week, same bat station, same bat time, as we dive deep into another hot topic. We still on the singles though. And my question is, and I'm going to do a poll, is, are you his piece or are you his piece? Let's figure out what you are so we can figure out what we can be. You understand? It can't be as usual, business as usual. It has to shake up. That's why they was calling this thing the dating shake up. Let's shake this stuff up, guys. Let's do something different so we can get a better result. I love y'all to life. I see y'all next week. Same bad station, same bad time. Till we meet again. Love you long time. Thank you for joining. Please check out our 15-minute daily guided meditation here on YouTube. And I listen to it. I listen to it not just because it's me, but because it's actually soothing. So take a listen and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you a thing to do it, but it will surely help me reach my goal. So till next time, love you a long time. Later, guys.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else in life.